All right. So, boys, we're going over today, bringing it back. We're talking about a lot of spiritual stuff lately. Like I said, we're bringing it back to the gym, self-improvement. We're going over workout splits. And I'm going to be presenting my argument for why I feel that training each muscle once per week is superior to any other split. So basically, why the bro splits are better. Now, this is a very, very unpopular opinion and take in like the science-based lifting community. That say, oh, like you get no gains on one time per week. You got to train 2 times a week, 3 times per week because of the studies and the science and everything like that. We're gonna go into all that here. I'm gonna give a presentation and we're gonna do discussion at the end. So let's get into it. Like I said, the modern fitness industry got one thing backwards. Is that frequency automatically means more growth. So literally, like what people say nowadays, like you watch, like I don't know if you guys like Mike Israetel, Renaissance periodization, but he's like, train 4 times a week, train 5 times a week, the muscle group for optimal growth, and um, So I think that's totally backwards. Now, can you get a good physique doing that? Yes. You can get a good physique doing any split, but I don't believe that it's optimal long term. And so the logic here is gonna be more stimulus. The more times that you hit the muscle, the more growth you're gonna get. Right? If I just hit muscle once per week, then 7 days out of the week, I'm then wasting time when I could hit the muscle again and stimulate muscle protein synthesis another time. Right? So I'm basically imagine I hit the muscle instead of 52 times a year, once a week, I hit it 104 times a year. So me double the gains, right? Or at least a lot more percentage of gains. The problem is that stimulus without recovery is just damage, right? The workout doesn't grow the muscle. It just stimulates the muscle to begin the growth process. So if we hit the muscle again before it fully recovers, we are really interrupting that growth process and not allowing the full growth and super compensation, which is the muscle growing back stronger than before, to fully take place. So, um, like I said, here's basically how growth happens. We give it a stimulus. What you're doing in the gym is you're creating a stimulus for growth. You're not growing muscle in the gym. You're actually creating some damage in a smart and controlled fashion in a way that we are basically hacking our body to do in order to cause the muscle to recover and grow larger and stronger than before. Yeah, we're giving it a stimulus. That's how we want to go to near failure. We want to tell our bodies, hey, I don't have enough muscle to do what my body needs to do on a daily, weekly basis right now. So I need to grow stronger muscles and adapt and recover to this stimulus that I'm constantly putting myself in order to get stronger. That's why if you guys are going like 10 reps away from failure, you're not going to grow. Your body already has what it needs to do it. All right. But when you're doing those last few reps from failure, and you're grunting, you're like, your muscle, you're barely getting it up with proper form, of course. By failure, I mean form failure. What you're telling your body is, hey, I don't have enough muscle in order to do this properly. So that's going to tell the body to begin the growth process and grow muscle new. So after that stimulus during the workout, you just stimulated muscle growth. During the recovery is where the muscle is repairing the damage that you did to it during that growth, all right, with protein. After this recovery process, there's a super compensation process where we're super compensating. So we're not just recovering the damage we did, but we're growing back stronger than the muscle was originally. Like I said, training is controlled damage. Here's everything that we're doing when we are really damaging ourselves when we're lifting weights. Guys, we are. We're getting muscle fiber trauma, joint stress, tendon stress, ligament stress, overall central nervous system fatigue. So this we're not growing here, we're damaging ourselves when we are actually in the gym working out. Why people think twice per week training is better. It's like I said, it sounds like it makes sense at first, right? Yeah, I'll get 104 sessions instead of 52. That's way more. Say you want to hit my chest. I'll do it over 100 times a year instead of 52 times a year. I'll get way more because muscle protein synthesis rises after training. Muscle protein synthesis is basically your body telling the protein to go to the muscle and grow it. Okay. And yes, it does rise after training, and it rises only for about 48 to 72 hours after training. Okay, so you think, well, that's 2 to 3 days. That makes sense for me to hit it twice a week, maybe even 3 times a week. But it's 48 hours. All right, every like 2 or 3 days, I'll hit the muscle again. Beginners also they recover a lot quicker. The reason beginners recover quicker is I'll go over into in more slides. Um, and more frequent stimulus, it can work if volume is controlled. Okay, so if you do these splits properly, where we work out 2 times a week, push pull legs 6 days a week, push pull legs, upper lower. Many people get amazing gains and build amazing physiques on these splits. Any split can build an amazing physique. All right, but I do think that they are not. I do think that they are inferior to 1 time a week. And studies often do appear to favor high frequency. The studies literally show when they the outcome of these studies where they test low frequency versus high frequency, yes, the higher frequency build more muscle. They do. All right, so why not train everything twice? First off, what's wrong with the studies? The studies do not really reflect serious bodybuilding. It does not reflect the lifestyle that we are living on the Evolve method, right? Or people who are bodybuilding in general. What studies typically use are beginners, recreational lifters. They use lower loads, extremely low volumes, and shorter time frames. So they'll do it for like, 8 weeks to see who builds up 4 weeks, who builds more muscle. And they'll test a beginner doing like leg extensions. And they'll say, oh, what happens if we hit 3 sets of leg extensions 3 times a week? Um, or yeah, 3 days a week, 3 sets of leg extensions, or 1 time a week, 9 sets of leg extensions. So equal volume. And they say, oh, well, we gained a lot more in the 3 times a week. Yeah, I believe that they probably did. But what it's not accounting for are people who are working out every single week for months, not just working out one muscle, are doing full workouts, hour and a half long workouts, where they're getting fully fatigued, um, and doing heavy loads. And here's a specific thing, near failure. All right. Weeks, days, every single week, weeks in a row, going to near failure properly. They're not a recreational lifter going 3, 4, 5 reps away from failure a few times a week. All right. Someone who's never a beginner who's never lifted before. Most of you guys here are not beginners anymore. If you've been lifting for like at least, especially if you've been lifting for a year total in your life, you're not a beginner. Right? You're at least intermediate. And it should not, these studies should not apply to how you would actually work for people who are living this lifestyle of bodybuilding. And what they also see, also studies that show for people who are more serious bodybuilders, if they hit 10 sets of chest on one day, they get the same amount of growth if they hit 10 sets of chest split up twice a week or 3 times a week. And so now, like I said, the people who do more frequency, they still grow very well. And some of the studies with beginners, they do grow better. Um, but there's some problems. Like I said, beginners not advanced lifters. They're using very light loads. These light loads are not causing a lot of tissue damage or joint stress or CNS recovery. They don't understand how to fully train super hard yet. What we do is we create a lot of mechanical tension. We're doing serious muscle damage, serious joint loading, high CNS demand where we're doing these high volume workouts going to failure, and it creates a lot higher need for recovery. Really, what this is that when you're more advanced, when you're not a beginner, you learn how to use intensity. Okay? If your training is brutal, you need more time to recover. I trained legs Friday. I'm still very sore. I'm gonna be sore tomorrow for sure. I'm not gonna be recovered tomorrow. I'm still gonna be sore. Um, I trained my biceps, and that's a small muscle group too. I think it was like Wednesday. I still kind of feel it. Like, I'm still not fully to my back to my strength because I'm going hard in my workouts. I'm going to near failure. These people who are like, oh yeah, 3 days later, my chest was totally good. Other way, I'm like, did you even hit your chest? You know what I mean? Now maybe like the soreness will go down a lot, and we'll get into that too. Soreness doesn't mean everything. Um, so like I just said, not sore does not mean you're fully recovered. Even if you feel like the muscle's like, oh yeah, I feel good. I'm like 80, 90% recovered. The actual muscle fibers might be recovered, but there are a lot of things that need to recover that are not just your actual muscle fiber, which is what the soreness is. Your strength hasn't fully recovered. I remember when I would be doing like a twice a week frequency split. So I did chest on Monday, then I hit it again on Thursday. But even though if my chest felt fine, I wouldn't be as strong as I was Monday. All right. I wouldn't be able to hit a PR. And then this is a huge one too. Your joints aren't fully recovered. The joints, tendons, and ligaments and strength take like 5 to 7 days to fully recover from a movement that you push to failure for high volume. Um, Even if the actual muscle fibers recover quicker and muscle protein synthesis is reset after 48 to 72 hours, it doesn't mean that our whole entire body is recovered from the damage that we did to it. And there's a lot of problems with this if if we're training hard and not allowing our bodies to fully recover. Like I said, here's the recovery timeline. So basic muscle repair, 48 to 72 hours, sometimes you could feel good. You might stop being sore, especially if you get into it. But your full strength levels might not, they're not going to return until really 5 to 7 days after you go really hard on a muscle group. Connective tissues, like I said, they take more time to recover than just these muscle fibers. And then overall, your central nervous system and the supercompensation, which is not just recovering to your baseline, but growing past your baseline, at the point where you're actually growing, also require more than 48 to 72 hours. They require really the full window of the week to get there. Here's how it goes, right? You train, this is the damage, repair the damage, we're rebuilding, and then we grow stronger beyond that original, what we had originally before the damage. Then we go, boom, cause it again. Train, recover, supercompensate, train again. Train, recover, supercompensate, damage, recover, supercompensate, etc. If you guys train too soon, if you train, say this is like a seven days here, right? Say we train after 3 days, the same muscle. We do like, 7, 8 sets of bench or chest. And we do it again here. Even if maybe the muscle chest doesn't feel as sore anymore, which if you train hard, it probably should feel sore still after 3 days. But say it's like feeling like 80, 90%. Um, you still haven't, you skip this entire phase. Right? And because damage is not when we're recovery is when we're actually growing, you're interrupting the growth phase when your body is building and actually growing stronger with another damage stimulus, interrupting that growth. Okay. And there's a lot of other problems with this. Um, one of them is going to be that because you don't feel as strong, you're not going to be able to push and actually progressive overload as well as you would on the 1 time per week. All right, if I hit, say I do incline bench, Smith machine, I put a plate on each side. Plate on each side of the Smith, and I do my top set, my first set, I do 12 reps. And I was like 1 rep away from failure. I had a spotter just in case. I was going hard. But the set of that Monday, by Thursday, I'm not gonna hit 12 reps. I promise you, I'm not. I'm probably gonna be like try to squeeze out 10. And what people say is, oh, well, I gotta hit the muscle again because if it's 48 to 72 hours after my muscle protein synthesis is done, I gotta keep hitting it. And sure, you can, and you'll still get some stimulus and you'll still keep growing, but I think it's inferior for progressive overload, which is the most important thing for muscle growth. Another one of the main things. This is honestly, if I had to pick one main reason why hitting muscle 1 time per week is superior, it's this. It's because with high frequency, you have a much higher chance of injury. Because what's getting worn down, what are the things that almost get injured, guys? So does your muscle get injured? All right, it's like, oh, my bicep. No, it's like, oh, my shoulder, my elbow, my knee, my lower back. Right? It's these joints that have tendons and ligaments that get injured because when we're training so frequently, we're not giving these tendons and ligaments enough time to fully recover. So we're constantly damaging them again before they fully get back to baseline. And so this is the problem that I see with guys who, for a long time, and everyone's different, right? So if you have a young, healthy body and like you just have good, your body's can handle that stress, some guys might not notice it for a long time. They can train this way for years, their whole life. They'll be fine. Right, but some guys will. Angel's on this call today, but Angel, like I said, because every split can get you results, and because a lot of it is just kind of trying to make it fun and like enjoyment. I have you guys on sometimes on splits where it's like you hit my muscle twice a week. I have some guys you try a full body 3 times a week split, right? And that's totally fine as long as you guys aren't complaining about injuries and stuff. It's fine. But like Angel, he was doing chest like once a week, and he was like, "Oh, I want to do chest more. Like I want to grow my chest." I was like, "All right, I'll do chest 3 times a week." So I split it up. Did like 4 sets, 4 sets Monday, 4 sets Thursday, 4 sets Saturday. And now his shoulders and elbows are messed up. He's like, "Oh, I just have this like shoulder pain in my joints and elbows." I'm like, "Well." There you go. Like that was because we switched to higher frequency. All right. And I didn't know you would get hurt. So I just tried it out because you enjoy hitting chest more often. But we gotta go back. So I just switched him back to 1 time per week because he kept damaging those pushing movements. So every pushing movement, I feel everything. And it's not allowing those joints that are used and those ligaments and tendons that are used during that movement to fully recover. So a high chance of injury. Um, we think that like, oh, because soreness is gone and ready to go. No, we're not, guys. All these things that you don't necessarily feel are happening, and you're not going to feel it until it's too late, until you're hurt. So that I think is the most important thing with 1 time per week is that it just allows you to train longer and healthier without injury. Because the really thing that's going to derail you, missing a workout here and there, overall in the long term, it's not going to derail you. The main thing that's going to derail you guys is getting hurt. And that's another reason why I say don't go to actual failure where it's like, oh, I can get one up like this doing shoulder press. It's form failure. It's not worth squeezing out an extra rep when you can get hurt and get set back and have an injury that lasts you years, some people, the rest of their life sometimes. On one extra rep, they took too far without being knowledgeable on when to stop. So hope that makes sense. Like I already said, connective tissue recovers slower. Um, frequency is too high. Small stress accumulates before recovery completes. Tendons stay irritated. Ligaments stay overloaded. Joints never fully calm down. Connective tissue is always a step behind the muscle in terms of recovering. So when you're not giving enough time to recover, that pain builds slowly, and that's why it's like, oh, the shoulder keeps getting worse and worse and worse until now, oh, it's not. It's injured. And I can't even do anything. And this problem comes over time. All right. So week one, maybe you feel good. And some people, maybe this is month one, month two. All right. So this is not an exact timeline. And there's like some slight tightness, some irritation. Now you gotta lower the weight. Because I've been Angel. He didn't even tell me, right? He's like, I feel like I've been lowering the weight. Now the pain shows up and he has to stop. So now we literally can't hit any pressing movement for like a couple weeks until he recovers. So he has to just do like back and like legs and stuff. And then we'll go back to the new split where we're hitting it once a week. Once weight protects longevity, joints fully recover, ligaments fully adapt. Muscle has the time it needs to not only get to baseline, but super compensate and grow. Tendons recover, nervous system recovers. You could train for years a lot without nagging injuries. The guy who I like really studied bodybuilding from, Nash Jokic. Like I've had some of you guys watch some of his videos. I think love his training philosophy the best out of anyone I've ever mentioned. He's like won like dozens of like titles, trained like a lot of guys. He trained with like some of the best guys back in the day, like Dorian Yates. He has a YouTube channel now. He says like he was injured constantly, and he feels better now when he's like probably in his like late 50s, almost 60. Still training all the time, once per week. Back when then he was younger, training multiple times a week. He said he was always getting hurt. That was the only switch he made. Nervous system matters too. Um, this is just your overall system fatigue, right? It's not cardio. It's just like that feeling of like heaviness after a leg day. Like, oh my God, I feel extra drained. That's your nervous system. So this one, I mean, it's not as much of an issue because you're gonna get that no matter what. If anything, you're gonna get that more on like a full body day than just like a chest workout. So this one is not just limited to one time per week or versus twice per week. Any amount of this one's more like how many times a week am I working out? If I can my nervous system handle 5 times a week workouts? Do I need 4 times? Do I need 3 times? Depends on your age, your genetics, etc. Some other so basically, if I had to sum it up, why twice per week often fails in real life. Again, a lot of times people love it, but sometimes why it does fail. If it does, you show up 80, 90% recovered, not fully recovered. You're not strong enough to PR after that session. You get less excitement and lower aggression going into the session too. So like if I hit chest Monday and like I'm like, oh, I still kind of feel it. I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to go hit my chest again. Let's go. I'm like, I just destroyed my chest on Monday. Lower performance, lower quality sets because you're already kind of sore, not recovered, more joint stress, injuries. Um, and you're not like fully hungry when you're there. It's kind of going through the motions. That's what I noticed when I would do like these like high frequency splits. I was just kind of, all right, I'm just going to the gym like because I got to do it because it's my split. I wasn't craving to hit the muscle. So that goes into the motivation advantage. Um, when I train a muscle once per week, I like by the time I'm trying to hit it again, I crave to hit it. Like right now, I'm doing a 4 day split. And I'm on chest and back today. So I do those two muscles on one day because those are like kind of like my stronger points. So even though they're big muscles, I'm putting them on the same day so I can focus on my arms, which I want to bring up more on the other days. And I'm craving to hit my chest and back. All right. Like I'm really excited to go get a chest pump because it's been a full week. I feel fully recovered. I feel like I'm fully strong. If I was bulking, I'd feel like I can go hit a PR right now. 100%. My body feels I feel stronger than I did last week. When I was doing multiple times a week, I did never felt that ever. It was always like, all right, time to go do my sets. Because it's time to hit it again. I gotta hit it twice a week. Like I said, you crave it. Like I just explained, I feel excited to go hit chest instead of like feel like I just have to because it's part of my split. You feel fully recovered. And then also the psychological state of knowing that if I don't get a good workout in, if I don't push hard right now, it's gonna be a full week before I get the chance to hit my chest again. And so I'm gonna give it everything I got because if I don't get, oh, well, say I have chest on Monday and Thursday. Monday, I'm like, I don't really feel like going that hard. I'm hitting chest again Thursday anyway. I'll just kind of go half-ass on my sets. If I'm hitting it once a week, I'm like, this is my only chance this week to hit it. I need to get my full stimulus in. All right. If I get it in, I feel great afterwards. I also feel more satisfied. I got to the gym like, damn, like I know my chest is totally cooked. It's totally cooked. And I'm not leaving like, oh, okay, like hopefully that was enough to not feel to still feel good on Thursday. You don't have to worry about that because that with the once a week I get full recovery. I can go as hard, destroy my chest as hard as I can. The more that I destroy it, destroy the muscle, not, my tendons from bad form and injury. Uh, the better I'm gonna grow back stronger, and I have a full week to recover. So I know it's a lot more motivation on one time per week. Um, yeah, but creates urgency, like I said. Pretty much just repeating the last slide there. Gives you a lot more, makes that workout more intense, more exciting, more motivating. Here are some problems with these splits. All right, so all these splits can work. These are like probably the three like most famous splits right now in the community. Full body is like, you work out your full body every day, or like every time you work out, you do full body. I think this is really good for beginners who like don't know how to push to failure. They need to like learn how to do the movements. So the more time you do something, the more easier it is to learn and practice the form. You're doing very light loads. You're not going to failure because they don't know how. Um, I think that is really good for beginners. I think it is could be good for advanced people too for a time, right? As long as you all your joints feel good, and your body can handle it. Right? You gotta monitor yourself. Are you feeling some of that wear down from those joints and connective tissue from training the same movements so often before they fully recover? Upper lower, same thing here. That's I don't like this one because it's a lower. This one actually I did for a little bit. I did kind of enjoy it because I feel like it was a lower body dominant split because there's a lot more muscles in the upper body. But with upper lower, you're hitting your legs half the time, even though legs have less muscles, right? Less movements. So it's a lot more. This was after my second MMA fight. I was like really upper body dominant. My legs were kind of like small. I did this split for after my fight to grow my legs, and it did help. I split up quads and hamstrings into 2 separate days. Um, so I forgot people really want to grow their legs. What I like to do is split up in 2 days. We do a quad focus day. So we get a lot of volume just on quads, 15 sets of quads. All right. And then maybe quads and calves. And then a glute and ham focus day where we do just hams. If your legs are kind of happy with your legs, you still want to grow them, do legs hard once per week. That's how I like to do it. Push pull legs. This is basically like the torso split, I call it, because I feel like anyone who does push pull legs, including myself who did push pull legs, their arms aren't big enough because what they do is they do push. They start with all their chest stuff, chest, shoulder, and at the very end they do triceps when they're already tired, and the triceps aren't fresh. So you're never hitting arms fresh in the split ever. Pull, same thing. Um, it doesn't really. This split's good if you can add a fourth day. All right, so if you can do push, pull, legs, and then arms, shoulders, and arms at the end, I have a lot of you guys do. Some of you guys probably have done that split with me. Push, pull, legs, arms. That's a great split because your arms get its own day as well. But this one, like, it'll give you like kind of torso dominant physique. You have big chest and back, but your arms are kind of slim. I feel like the best for aesthetics and like life is to have big arms. That's what people really notice. People are not gonna look at like, oh, when you're wearing clothes, like, oh, how big is his back? How big are his lats? No, he's like, they look at your arms, right? So. Those are my critiques of these splits. Again, tons of people have gotten amazing physiques on all these splits, but those are my critiques. Here's our pro bodybuilders who understood this, what I'm telling you, and they did one time, they worked out muscle groups 1 time per week. Jay Cutler, 4-time Mr. Olympia, Phil He, 7-time Mr. Olympia. These guys are two guys who are like, I think these guys are almost 60. These guys are very healthy nowadays. They have amazing physiques. They still work out a ton, and they attribute it to hitting muscles once per week and going high volume and not pushing each set to absolute failure. All right. So they get enough recovery. Dorian Yates, he's actually 6-time Mr. Olympia, not 4-time. I miswrote that. He would do low volume, but he'd do maximum recovery. All right, so he do a very low amount of sets, but he go beyond failure. He go like drop set every single set. He would do like one hard set per muscle per workout, like 3 warm-up sets. So it was a very unique training system that I don't recommend because I think those it's good, it's effective, but he can't work out as well much anymore because his body was like the sets do go beyond failure. Whereas these two guys here, they're amazingly healthy nowadays and look great. Samson Dowda, he's modern Mr. Olympia. I think he won the previous year, not 2025, 2024. He does it like he works out like this. Naturals too. Philip Ricardo Jr., natural bodybuilding legend. for like decades. He did 1 time per week training as a natural to be a legend. This guy's 6-time natural Olympia champion. Same thing. Um, More guys too. This guy, he actually switched from upper lower to 1 time per week bro split as a natural. So a lot of people are like, oh, only if you're enhanced you can do that. No, like tons of naturals do this too. Here's some good examples of a split. I know a lot of you guys actually do this split. This is that split that I have here: chest and biceps, legs and calves, back and abs, shoulders and triceps. Sometimes I do add a couple things, um, more often, and depending on like what you're trying to emphasize, I'll switch things up. So for me right now, what I'm doing is I actually switched. I'm doing a 4-day split. I switched back to chest day, so chest and back, because those things I want to. I need to bring everything up in comparison to those. I did push pull legs for a while when I was lifting early on, so my chest and back are actually better. Um, and I'm having shoulders on its own day with abs, biceps and triceps on its own day, and legs on its own day. So I have 2 days for shoulders, biceps, triceps, and abs. 2 full days out of the four for those muscle groups. Try to bring them up. But you can also throw calves on different days. Forearms. Sometimes I'll do forearms twice a week or abs twice a week. Sometimes like shoulders a couple times a week. Again, it's you play around with it. It depends on you. If you feel good and you're recovering well, yes, you could get more stimulus, more muscle protein stimulus from hitting lateral raises a couple times a week, especially lateral raises that muscle recovers very quickly. Arms, if you're gonna hit something twice a week, have it be arms. There's a lot of top bodybuilders who do um, big muscle groups once a week, really big compound movements, right? So like chest, back, legs once a week, but then maybe arms twice a week, calves twice a week, lateral raises twice a week, abs twice a week. Here's like a 5-day option. And this one I would, instead of this, I'd put day 6, I put rest here if you're gonna do it. So I do like 3 on, 1 off, 2 on. A lot of people have done this split. This is like the classic bro split. Like chest, legs, back, rest, shoulders, arms, rest. And then throw abs on there somewhere, calves, forearms as well. But the goal is not to train more frequently, guys. The goal is to grow more. How do we grow? We grow when we are recovering. How do we recover more? We give ourselves a greater stimulus, a greater controlled damage to the muscle. So, I always get back to baseline, right? So if we just damage it a little bit, then we're just gonna super compensate a little bit. As long as if we give it full recovery. If we damage the muscle a lot, right, do a heavy workout with a lot of volume instead of, 4 sets of chest 3 times a week. We do 12 sets all right in one day, hard, boom. And then also give it a full week. Not so it just gets back to baseline, but that it gets better. All those joints, all those connective tissues are recovering as well. So we're not getting much injury risk that day. Next day to hit chest comes a week later. We're motivated because our chest is fully recovered. Feels almost like starting to get a little bit flat, just barely starting to get a little bit flat. We're like, I can't wait to go get my pump up. I pump again for my chest. Motivated, you're hungry during the workout. It's more intense, easy progressive overload. You guys are on 1 time per week splits right now, like and bulking, which a lot of you guys aren't bulking. I think Ryder is right now. Um, and he's doing 1 time per week. Every single week, PR, 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 because full damage, full recovery. He's at his peak, ready to go, fully recovered, ready to hit another PR because he's bulking. All right. I have times where I was bulking and I wouldn't hit PRs because my muscle wasn't recovered doing it twice a week. So it's very clear to me, guys. Um, for discussion, what are your guys' thoughts on split? And what is your favorite split that you've done so far? And guys, I know I just presented my argument for why I think 1 time per week split is superior. I've done push pull legs. I've done Arnold split. I've done upper lower. I've done full body. I program some of that for you guys right now. It's okay to do things sometimes as long as you actually aren't feeling injured. It's okay, and as long as you're training hard and recovering good, you are going to grow well. And a huge factor of it is enjoyment. You know what I mean? Like I have some guys who it's like they enjoy full body training, full body workouts way more than 1 time per week bro split workouts. And so if that's gonna get them in the gym more, and as long as they're recovering good, that's better for them long term. Because if they actually, go to the gym for years instead of like, oh, I hate this type of workout, and they stop going for 2 years, I think that's a difference there. So open up to you guys. What are your guys' thoughts on what I just said? What is your experience with different types of splits that we've done? I know some of you guys have done upper lower, then switched to once a week. We've done full body, switched to once a week, switched to twice a week. Full body, switched to push pull legs. I've had you guys on all of it. None of it is wrong, and not, if you guys work with me, I've been the one to choose it. So it's not like you guys chose anything wrong. Um, but I want to hear your thoughts and experience for you guys who actually have been experiencing this stuff on what I presented today.